It's King Ref 3. You know, me and the other Ray J, we've been cool for months. Honestly, it's been a collab with just me and you's been overdue for months, man. It's been overdue. Like, and you're not the only one that I have a delayed live stream with. Like, there's quite a few individuals I got to do live streams with, man.
Oh yeah, this is definitely the ones that be long overdue, they probably be the most legendary ones. So uh we'll definitely see how this one goes for sure, because sometimes it be like just that good pie in the oven, that good old what's the name, Patty LaVelle pie. So yeah, this is gonna be a good one, man. But yeah, I guess kind of starting out, as y'all just heard in the chat, y'all, this is King Ref. Uh, that's live with me. Make sure you go subscribe to his channel. He's got a lot of thoughtful, thought-provoking content, as we've talked about before. He's like me, he has content that ain't necessarily trying to like appeal to the masses, but it has a massive effect. And today's topic is definitely one of those that has an effect. Now, I wanted you to kind of share your thoughts with me on this, King Ref, because you actually brought it to my attention based on some things we were talking about. And I was like, you know what? That's definitely a drop.
Oh yeah, so basically, like when it comes to vision alignment, like um there's women that are, sexually, I'm trying to remember the conversation, but there's like women that's like sexually like compatible with you and things of that nature, and then this woman that's compatible, to your vision. Oh, it was sexual market value. Like there's women who have sexual market value and there's women who have vision alignment value. And what I mean by that was the notion that a lot of guys focus more on sexual market value. For example, like a woman at 40 might not have the same sexual market value as a 21-year-old. But that particular chick, depending on who the chick is, she can align to your vision better, depending on what you need. Because most guys don't have a vision. Most people have a dream. They don't really have a vision. And one of the things I noticed with the with the black community is a lot of people, like when they get off of work, they go straight to filling voids. They don't have a purposeful like life, to where they could be like, all right, this is the work that this is my occupation, and this is the real work that I'm meant to do. Because occupation and the real work you're meant to do are two different things. Because the work that you're meant to do aligns with your soul, aligns with your spirit. It almost doesn't feel like work. But your occupation is what you do for a paycheck. Is what girls ask their friends, what does he do when they what does he do? It's more aligned with that. It's more aligned with your occupation. And when you focus on vision alignment, it's about what suits your vision the most. And oftentimes what suits your vision the most, it might not be a woman of high sexual market value. It might not be a 19-year-old that got big ass big titties or whatever. It might not be that. It might be someone who, might have gained weight a little. It might have been someone who might not be as pretty as that 19-year-old. So that older woman, that 31-year-old, has more vision alignment value.
Oh man, that's deep, man. That's very deep. And a few things I could touch upon that. See, a lot of guys don't understand, like, true attraction, they think of just physical attraction. Like you said, she has to look a certain way, you know, big ass, big tits, and it's like you got to see attraction on a deeper level than just like the outside, like whatever your sight is, and even sight and vision aren't necessarily the same thing. A lot of guys go off their sight, and in the Bible it even says, "Walk by faith, not by sight." But then I think of the other thing, like with the virtuous woman. Maybe you could have more input on this too. But everything you said about the occupation versus the vision. Well, if you ask me, the virtuous woman definitely was part of the vision, not an occupation. And you would probably be like her age, the way she carried herself. It's depicted of a much older woman. But even though the Bible never really gave an age to what that virtuous woman was at that time.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Like, and that's the thing. Like, it all comes down to like what you need. Like, if you look at like Proverbs 31, you know, she was with one of the most respected men of the city, or one of the most respected just men in whatever region. He was just a man. He was a man that was solid and had status. And even in ancient days, you did not get to that point just like that because you was a guy. No, you had to work your way up, you know. So a Proverbs 31 woman, even though back then it was more likely to happen that you can find a Proverbs 31 woman and she was just much, much younger. The way Proverbs 31 is written, it's written for someone who has more experience, you know, because
Mm,
because the way it's written, the guy who the Proverbs 31 woman is with has to work up the ladder to be solidified. Like, think about it, bro. Like, if you look at like someone like Isaac didn't get married till he was 40, you know? And Rebecca is probably a Proverbs 31 woman. You feel me?
yes, sir. Wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
So there's so much and I'm not saying that a younger woman can't be a Proverbs 31 woman. I'm not saying that. But the way a Proverbs 31 woman operates, it just seems to be written as a more seasoned and evolved woman. And this woman can't be 15 years old. You know, this woman can't be 17. You know?
Mm. Man, that's deep because that makes you wonder, like, what would be like, I guess even based on our experiences, what would be like the age you would even notice them being more properly aligned with the vision? You know, that's definitely something to think about because you think like at those younger ages, they're not necessarily trying to be properly aligned. They're just trying to know there are lines out there. They're just trying to uh, learn that, just really learn of their what their existence is. Like they should be taught this, but they're not. But you know, most gals they would always say when they're young, I'm just trying to like figure out who I am, and I know I'm like female versus male, and I'm just trying to figure my way through this. But then they try to do it on their own. They try to do it on their own, and so they end up unfortunately running into a certain guy where he'll just call her out and be like, "Yo, you be out of line too much."
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And here's the kicker with that as well. Again, I'm not saying that a woman who feeds your vision the most is gonna be an older woman 100% of the time. I'm just saying that if you look at a woman who has the ability to feed your vision, she's just more inclined to be older because you can't be psychologically immature and have vision. Yeah, I mean, you can't. You can't. And that's just the truth, man. You can't be psychologically immature and have vision. Like the people I know, like you yourself, Professor MGTOW and others, you guys are mature mentally. So that's a huge aspect to why you guys have vision. That's the reason why you guys have a clear focus.
That's facts. It makes me think like, because one could be like, well, you know, even blind people dream, but they don't have vision. But I'm like, blind people dream and they may not have sight, but they still can have vision, even though they don't have the actual sight. Like, but see, that's definitely another drop because depending on a certain blind person that actually wants to still get around, you know, they have a walking stick, they have a way of still trying to get through despite the lack of sight. And I think like even with what you mentioned about someone being a line, like even if let's say she was young and she was you would call blind and she lacked the sight, the foresight, as well as the insight, because you know a lot of them at a certain time don't want to hear a certain opinion. Uh, you sometimes could be sort of like that walking stick because she wants to actually do something. It's not like you have to tell her what to do all the time, but some guys miss that mark too because you know a lot of times we hear in these spaces guys like they don't want to like really show her the way, like they want a perfectly assembled Barbie doll that comes in a box,
Yeah,
batteries included.
yeah, and that's the thing, man. Like a woman that's gonna align to your vision is not always a woman that you're in a relationship with. That's what a lot of guys don't understand. Like some like Professor Mix, I'll be talking about assets. Sometimes these are not women you're romantically involved with that can feed your vision. That's sometimes the best course of action for you. So even if it's a woman that, you know, even if it's a woman that you probably have natural chemistry with and whatever, sometimes she's just best to be in a position to support the vision and be with you. That's just how it is. Like for example, there's a few women that have assisted me on my vision so far. And obviously they can't for whatever reason. It is what it is. Full throttle. They can't. It is what it is. But if I was in a relationship with them, right, they wouldn't have been able to help me at all. Because again, there would have been too much focus on sentimental feelings versus what needs to be accomplished here. And that's what a lot of guys don't understand. You know, women need to be kept busy, but it's her choice to want to be busy as well. That's why like certain zodiacs are are good for vision and others just aren't. For example, a Taurus. Is a Taurus woman is great after you get, you know, what you need. After you get all your ducks in a row. That therefore after the majority of the journey is complete. So let's use an example. If you was like Abraham from the Bible, right? Basically, a Taurus is going to be more compatible with Abraham after he reached Canaan, you know, after he got everything solidified. But a woman of other, certain women of other zodiacs, even though they might not be compatible with you on paper, can help you get to the vision better. You know, a female Sag, a female Aries, who else? Whoever it is, you know, they can help you toward your vision better. And here's another thing too. Sometimes your best bond with a woman is a woman who aligns with your vision more than a relationship.
I tell
Right.
people that too. Like with the building challenge, I have that as a playlist at my channel, and one of my statements is, you're building a vision, not a relationship. A lot of people don't get that though.
Well, you have to understand what a lot of people's mindset is. I used to be like, damn, like they, damn, they don't have vision. But then I realized something. A lot of people, really don't need vision. Like vision is not a necessity to a lot of people. That's the thing that makes it beautiful but sad for a lot of people. Vision is not a necessity. It's not. People don't need vision to live their day-to-day lives. People just need money and a void to fill and some vices. That's what people need. You know, even though they could, improve and self-actualize and all that, you know, that's what people need. You know, people need to self-actualize, but it's not a need. It's not what they perceive as a need. You get what I'm saying? So when it comes to like vision alignment, it all comes down to who's best for your vision. It might not be, oh, and this is the thing. This is the thing, right? This is how deep it is. A woman who's best for your vision might be a chick that's attractive, but most guys rather cupcake if they get that type of access.
Right. They looking at her body and all that. Like that's the sad part because it goes back to what you said. Like a lot of guys, they diminish her value by just saying only sexual market value. So when you just say sexual market value, you only think about her occupation. And like you said, that's going back to like the trick and the whole days. Because if it's just sexual market value, then it's just only sex on the market. You're not
And
looking at the alignment part.
another thing too, we're in Babylon, so sexual market value is honestly silly.
Hmm. I
It's
agree.
silly. It's silly, man, because a lot of these guys, their mothers don't have a high sexual market value. The woman that they're related to don't have a high sexual market value. It is what it is. So the whole sexual market value thing, to me, it's honestly silly. It's silly to me. I get what they're saying, but this is why what I be telling people, especially guys, you can't be obsessed with purity, man. We are not in a pure society, and everything that this society represents is impure. So how can you focus on sexual market value?
And it's like if anything, guys just want a handout. They want something that's already pure instead of knowing that they have to have the wherewithal to make something pure. Kind of like, a business, you have to have the wherewithal for that business to make it happen. Like it's not going to just come to you like that. You have to take things for what face value. And from there, you can kind of sort out the sexual market value. Like you said, that's kind of secondary versus the alignment value. And then that's basically the face value right there. Like before we continue, I just wanted to say Francisco, good question. In regards to what overall, because you said, what do you guys think about biblical mathematics and the French equation? So yeah, just in regards to like, I guess this topic, like, what do you mean by that, fam? That's a great question. And you said, Mr. O, well, if that's the case, then marriage should be outlawed. Interesting. Yep. And then Brown Do Life, you said brothers in the truth understand that virgin women are a needle in the haystack. And then this could be a question specifically for you, King Ref. Polo said, would you say some zodiacs are builders, some are operators, and some are destroyers? Basically, God, God, something like that. Actually, or yeah, builders,
Uh,
operators, yeah.
yeah. Certain zodiacs are builders. Some are operating, some are destroyers. Now, I don't know which one I would, use specifically. Like, for example, I think Capricorn women are great, but they're not going to be the most, You have to do even more convincing. What's the word I'm trying to use? You gotta have to break the ice with them in order for them to feed into your vision. Whereas when it comes to like a Virgo woman, she's gonna be more helpful to your vision because Virgo women are like the service girls of the zodiac. They need something to do, man. They need a daddy. They need a John in their life. That's how Virgo women are. So if you look at, and I'm gonna communicate like I'm inside the matrix, but if you look at someone like Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith just doesn't have the pimp energy to keep Jada in line. You know, he doesn't because Jada's a Virgo. And when it comes to like Virgo women, they need more of a pimp figure for them to take you seriously. But they can help feed your vision though.
That is deep. That is deep. Tying this in with what Francisco said, he broke down the French equation. He said it's half the man's age plus 7. Okay. So kind of similar to, like, not to say it is exactly, but like similar to probably the life path numbers and things like that too. So I guess depending on what your number is and what her number is, Francisco, are you saying like your number and her number should like match, like, or it should like, even if her number is not the same, it'll equal a certain thing that would represent probably the highest order of the alignment? Interesting. Very interesting. Kind of goes back to like even a thumbnail where you see the puzzle pieces coming together. I thought that'd be more direct in regards to really aligning, because you see like what people always talk about, going off the path. That's fine, you know, that's part of derailing or getting offline, getting off track. But a lot of people don't talk about the puzzle pieces coming together, which what represents, like, you would say like the vision. Like if you put the puzzle pieces together, you can actually see the big picture. But I guess the other problem with the vision aspect is, you know, the puzzle pieces, you know how to put them together, or you're learning how to put the puzzle pieces together, and she should be there helping you to help me put those puzzle pieces together. So I guess one more thing I'll add to that is like when we just talked about the builders, operators, and destroyers. Like,
And
okay,
and I
yeah, go
want to
ahead, go
say
ahead.
this real quick. Because I said this on Professor MGTOW's live stream that I did with him, I think a month ago. A lot of this is the difference between a wife and a helpmeet. You know, a wife is someone who's just in a position to be married to you, and that's their position. Whereas a helpmeet is someone who helps meet your vision. So not many guys experience what a helpmeet is. Even in Arab countries,
Facts.
they probably have 5 wives but 0 helpmeets because none of those guys have vision, you know? So that's one of the things that a lot of guys um just don't understand, because I hear guys talk about help me, but what is she helping to meet? You know, what standard is she helping to meet? Because think about it, these days guys could cook and clean themselves. So what is she there for? Like, what is her purpose there? You know, always remember,
Facts.
if she's a help me, she's there to help meet your vision. And the condition is you have a vision. If you don't have a vision, you don't have a help me. Because it'll be ridiculous for a man to have a vision and not have a woman as a help me.
Mm, mm. They fall for the okie doke all the time. Looks like King Ref fell off, but we'll get him back in. You know, all the connections. Gotta love the connections. Forget love connection. You gotta love the connections. Okay, there you go. There you go. Let me add him back here. Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's dope though, man. That's real dope. Like, you know, just tying that in, like, you know, like her being like part of this co builder, or or to me, co-operator. See, there you go. That's what I really meant to say. Excuse me. But she could also be a co-destroyer, meaning that you could blame her for destroying the vision, but she's a co-destroyer. Like she had, you know, she had help. Like some you did wrong, but I guess more or less, I would like to say she can uh, definitely be like the builder or the assistant, and instead of operator, be the co-operator. Or maybe sometimes she has to be the operator because you are doing other things, but she's maintaining and help meet the vision while you're doing other things. So
Yeah,
there's a
exactly.
lot of different ways. Yep, there's a lot of different ways you could look at that.
And honestly, the best position for any man, you know, is a chick that can be a helpmeet and a wife. That's a great position. You know, that's what it comes down to. And to answer Polo's question, how can you tell his vision or just vain imagination? Well, a vision, if you look at like the definition of vision, it's, you know, it's aligned to a clear purpose. The purpose is clear. The benchmarks of achievement are clear. And I just want to say this other thing too. You know, a lot of women love deeper when she's in a position of sacrifice. And I've spoken to you and Esther Stoic about this behind the scenes. A woman can love, a woman is capable of deeper love if she herself is in a position of sacrifice. Uh, and when you hear about these horror stories when it comes to like divorce and all this, the woman did not really sacrifice anything. So she didn't invest. Her emotions aren't tied to you through that investment because you invested all the time. This is why it sucks, but this is why a lot of bad boys, now obviously 99% of them don't have vision, but this is why a woman will have a deeper connection to a bad boy than a good guy, because she's forced to be in a position of sacrifice on some level. Whereas when it comes to a good guy, he wants to sacrifice all the time.
That's dope. And a lot of them really forget about the scripture part where it is written. It says obedience is better than sacrifice. However, it didn't say that obedience came before sacrifice. It's just that it is a better way, but most people actually go through sacrifice first before they truly understand the obedience. So you probably got a lot of that. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
And I want to break down the context of that. Like in biblical times, right? People would be, people would, you know, not have a, their heart wouldn't be into, what's the word I'm trying to use? Their heart would not be into the Most High, but they would offer sacrifices. They would offer scapegoats at atonement. You feel me? They would do all that, but they lacked obedience. You feel me? They lacked obedience. And the sacrifice that that's in reference to is more so about like the physical practice of ancient sacrifice. You know, scapegoats, you know, goats and rams for like Passover, etc. That's what that sacrifice was in reference to. And think about it. One of the main laws that we have to follow is love with our mind, body, and soul. Love the Most High with our mind, body, and soul. That takes sacrifice, because if you don't do that, right, you're going to be in a position to be more sinful. But here's the kicker though. You are sacrificing your innate human selfishness for the Most High, which is a form of sacrifice, you know, which is a form of, you know, carrying your cross symbolically. And Polo asked, what octane is good for vision? 87 octane, in my opinion. It really depends, because honestly, man, if you have access to a 92, if you have access to an 89, if you have any woman can be good for your vision. It don't have to be romantic. For example, a woman who's a 92 or a baller chick can be more beneficial to your vision than a relationship, because you just don't got the funds to keep up with her. So let's say you work sales or something like that. You make $45,000 a year, above most people in America, right? Because most people in America are making under 20,000. You make 45,000. You're making double that of the average American citizen. So you're in a good place financially compared to most people. But if you have access to Lauren London, have Lauren London feed your vision, but you can't be with her, because honestly, bro, like, you can't afford her. you know, you just can't.
Yeah.
If a chick done been with millionaires, don't think that you can just be with her. You might have a one night stand or whatever, but realistically speaking, a woman that's at a far higher class than you is probably only meant for your vision.
Facts. Yeah, 93 is not going to step down to an 87 anytime soon.
Oh, at all, man, at all. You think Amber Rose is gonna, you think she gonna be with some regular nigga? Like, we just gotta be real, man. She's used to a certain lifestyle. And think about it. Think about it like this, fellas. If you had a bunch of dimes feeding your vision, why would you settle for threes and fours who don't? just think about the psychology of that.
Man, that's deep. And it's sad because some guys just only want like four requirements. You know what I'm saying? The 87s, the 89s, just the dirty requirements. Like, she got to be able to give me some head. She got to be able to throw that thing back. That's a four requirement. That's an 87 requirement. That's accessible these days. Anybody can get that. What about more? What about that premium? Requires a much cleaner background.
Exactly.
Man.
And another thing too, a chick, you just opened a can of worms with what you just said. Sometimes a woman who can feed your vision is toxic. Sometimes a woman who can feed your vision the most is a toxic woman. Sometimes she's toxic. This is the thing, man. And this was a conversation I had with multiple people. When it comes to like certain women, you can have good interactions with them, but they're toxic women. But your experience with them are good because you're not on this thing trying to pursue them. This is what a lot of guys don't understand. Like, a toxic woman, a lot of guys become red pilled because they had good relationships with their mom, but had toxic experiences with toxic women. Whereas with me, I don't really have a relationship with my mom at all, but my relationships with toxic women are actually solid. And some of the toxic women I've encountered have assisted me more than the quote unquote good woman, or what people would assume what people would just assume a good woman is. This is why you can't be obsessed with purity, man, because it all comes down to the vision. How can they assist you in your life? Because that's how a lot of women operate. How can you assist me?
Facts. And it's supposed to be the other way around. That's the way she's made, man. And that's deep because it makes you wonder, like, I know that you mentioned the toxic part, but it's probably like, what if she's just in a toxic environment and she has to be that way? But she'll give you something that she couldn't get to her rich husband, if you will. Like, in many ways, you just answered Emma's question earlier about the hypergamy narrative. Like, for you, it doesn't apply because you're not pursuing her. She wanted to help you in your vision. So it's a different story. And
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, it's like she saw something in you that she would never do for any other guy that's not in her class.
Exactly. It all comes down to sacrifice, man. That's why I truly believe, man. Because think about it, bro. Like if a lot of these women if a lot of these women sacrificed and invested as much as they nested, divorce court would be cut by 50% because they would invest more.
Facts. I
But
mean,
it also takes a guy with vision.
yeah,
Certain yeah, and this is deep. Certain women are only toxic because they don't have a man of vision in their corner. So they live in their
facts.
lives from boredom, bored situation to bored situation to bored. Some women just need to be productive, man.
Hmm. Makes you wonder, does whoredom come from boredom?
I think some of it does. Because if you, again, you open another can of worms. Some of these porn star chicks they had regular backgrounds, man. They did not, some of these chicks that do porn did not come from, the hood. Some of these chicks were middle class. They were middle class with college degrees. So what made them do it?
Facts.
Obviously, whatever traumas they dealt with. But if they had a man of vision, they wouldn't be in that route. So
Yep.
that's just something to think about. Like think about I'll never forget Panky. She was a she had a college degree and everything. But most people again would never assume that. So when she was serving a white man's vision through the school, in school, she was straight. Once she had no vision to follow, she got into porn. So think about if she found a brother like you, um, her junior year of college, she wouldn't have chosen porn.
Right.
And I realize when
Facts.
it comes to a lot of chicks that are like prostitutes, escorts, they have a greater need for a man of vision than an average woman. This is why those chicks can help your vision greater than an average, regular 9 to 5 woman out here.
Mm-hmm.
Because the deeper need for a man of vision.
Especially if she has a lot of money on her. She actually wants a man of vision.
Exactly. Another thing too, man,
Mm.
if she had like a suburban background, she needs something to do because everything is just too easy. Everything's too easy. So all it comes down to is the mindset, man. All it comes down to is mindset. That's why I tell guys, you got to think gray area about things. You have to. Because if you don't think gray area about things, you're going to be looking at things at just face value. And you can't look at things just at face value. You can't. You got to look at who's going to align your vision. So when it comes to someone like me, an escort is going to see my value to a greater degree than an average, college girl. It is what it is.
Facts. I mean, and it kind of goes back to what I said earlier about what the actual face value is, but it's like based on what you said, a lot of guys would assume that face value is based on the sexual market value. They're not putting together the alignment part. They're not putting together what she should be doing, versus just doing you, like they don't put all that together. A lot of guys just basically just want to have a girlfriend. That's why when I do hear a content creator just mentions about the feminine gender being his girlfriend or even just wife, that tells me he don't have vision or he doesn't even understand what vision is.
Yeah, of course, of course, of course. Because You got, like, when it comes to vision, you guys have a three-way relationship. Is you and her married to the vision. So when it comes to a lot of guys, is you and her are married to the state, versus you guys are having a union that's tied to the vision. It always comes down to how much a woman invests, man. That's what it comes down to, man.
Man, we definitely broke the record on this one. So I was like, we definitely went a little longer than expected, but it just flowed that way, man. It's dope. But we definitely can uh a few closing statements we could bring up and man, wrap it up from there. But yeah, I was thinking like one thing I'll bring up is like I got a high school classmate and we've never been intimate nor sexual, but she's always fed my vision. And so maybe I need to redefine sight and blind based on what I said earlier. Sight usually means you can see somebody, right?
Yeah.
She can't see me, of course. So it's like, okay, because we're not intimate, we haven't been sexual. She literally can't see me. She doesn't have sight of me, but yet she still has a vision. If she tells me that, she'd be like, Ray, you could be doing this. Like, I see you doing this. You've done so much to get to this point in your life. And I already know if you keep at it, you're gonna be at this place and that place, just feeding me that, yo, like, and we haven't even been close like that. She doesn't see me. She can't see me, but she still feeds my vision. And I just thought that was so dope. I thought I would bring that up for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the last things I want to say is a chick can be in a relationship with another guy, but if she's feeding your vision, she has a deeper bond with you than her own man. Could you give an example of what the vision end goal is? Is it like opening a company together or something? Sorry if it's a dumb question. I'll answer that, Emma. So let's use Jeff Bezos. Everyone knows who he is. Creator of Amazon. Richest man alive that they claim. So let's use someone like Jeff Bezos. And this is 1997. He's working on creating Amazon, right? Amazon selling stuff online. Mind you, people had AOL, but selling goods online to be the basis of your company in 1998, it sounds far-fetched. But his woman was there from the beginning. She was there when this dude literally didn't have anything. And she helped with his company. So they had a vision of what Amazon could be. She was his helpmeet, and boom. Next thing you know, Amazon becomes $1 billion industry. Now it's basically $1 trillion industry. So that's what it comes down to. Now did his wife divorce? Yeah. But the reason why I give her a pass compared to a lot of other women is she was there from the beginning. There's nothing you can deny about that. His wife was there in the beginning, in the 90s and all that. So if his wife was there in the beginning and she took her cut from the divorce, I'm sorry, I don't blame. Honestly, I know a lot of manosphere dudes was like, man, see, hypergamous and all this. And I'm like, we can't act like she don't deserve it. We can't.
Right. It ain't like she took Jeff Bezos for everything he had. She just wanted her cut, and that was it. And she donated most of the stuff that she got from him, and he's still winning. He's still meaning like he still got it. It's like, man.
Exactly. And plus, like, what a lot of people don't understand is, even if it's not like she came and started being with him after he made it. Far after he made it. It's not like she was with him 2015 and then just wanted her cut. Now I'd be like, all right, she clearly was gold digging. But they probably, you know how rich people are, they probably mutually agree to split up. That's how it is, man. They probably
Yeah.
mutually agreed. So you, that's an example of like a vision end goal that, you know, people can work towards.
Oh yeah, it's almost like, you know, she helped him to align that aspect of the vision, and she ran her course. Like, you know, that was the end of the railroad line at that particular point. And it was more or less like, you know, sayonara, like we did good together. We'll always have that connection about each other. Even though on paper they're going to say we divorce, we see it as something differently personally. We, you know, and like you said, rich people do this all the time. And it's just to protect their assets and their ideas. But even moving forward, it's like I'm at a different place where you don't have to feel burdened now. I mean, if you got other things you want to do in your life, you can. I'll be fine. It's like a lot of the lower people that want to still have affection and certain companionship with the individual, like through it all. You know, even though you might have to be in a different place, it's going to require a different person there at that
Well,
place.
and the thing with a lot of lower class people, a lot of lower class people don't really know what love is either. You know, they just know what codependency is. You know, a lot of lower class people, they don't really know what love is because their minds is just on being codependent on someone else.
That's facts.
So that's that, you know, that's a drop for another day. But you know, that's
Yeah, man.
I just want to say this, you know, I appreciate you having me on. This drop has been overdue. Glad I could be on. Salute to everyone in the chat. Salute to you, Ray. And, you know, salute to the future listeners of this live stream.
Most definitely. All you guys and gals on the replay, much love to y'all as well. Hope y'all enjoy this. And we definitely got some more on the way. You know, me and King Ref definitely cooking in the kitchen. So we'll definitely be back for sure.
Definitely. Stay blessed. Stay blessed, bro.
You too, fam. And all right, y'all, much love, and hope y'all enjoyed that one. Just wanted to do a quick segue, you know what I'm saying? Let y'all know yours truly still up in the building. We got definitely more in store. We finna really turn up. We finna turn up. I see the demand is there. So, you know, supply and demand, the demand is there for yours truly to continue to expand. So that's what we're gonna do. So be looking out. Greatness is definitely on the way, especially with my uploads I got to drop for y'all here in the next few hours. Until next time, signing out. Much love and thanks for stopping by. For sure.